if somebody is really close to you is toxic, you kind of have to become toxic as well to navigate and to survive. So again, I'm not shaming victims for that, but do you want to be a victim forever? That's my question. Good evening. I need to address something before people start misrepresenting my message and misunderstanding me. There are two types of people who watch my videos. One side is victimized since an early age, traumatized and ready to heal and willing to learn. And then there's the other side who maybe they have experienced hardship as well, but something inside of them decided to turn to be a covert narcissist or something in that sort, or bipolar or whatever. Let me tell you one thing. First of all, I think us victims always question ourselves. We always think negatively of ourselves. We had low self-esteem. For me, it's in the past tense, and that's why I'm doing these videos, because I want other people to rise up as well, because we know what makes the world as shit as it is. And I think we do have some kind of responsibility to learn from our mistakes and share our findings, share our wisdom, trying not to let other people repeat our mistakes, right? So I made a video about what victims have in common with narcissists. And immediately, a lot of people get really, really triggered by that. In one sense, I do understand it a little bit, because I have been victim shamed a lot by my own family, more specifically just my mother, to be honest. But, I do believe that, I know that there is a lot of unresolved mental health issues on her side, and she does tend to treat her daughters differently than she treats her sons, if you catch my drift. So I really try to understand why people, and that's why I'm saying that I think these people are covert narcissists, or what some people call dormant narcissist, which is basically a narcissist that has been broken down so much they just fail to get the supply that they want for a while. So they're just in this victim state all the time, and they really lost their confidence. I'm not making videos for narcissists to take advantage of and to learn from and to become better at manipulating and abusing other people. I'm not targeting these people. So I'm really actually very happy that they feel repulsed by my content and that they feel triggered, because they should. Because they deep down they know that they're doing something wrong. But also, I myself have been in this state a little bit in the past while I was with the narcissist, for example. And the reason is because I justified why I stayed with that person and things like that. But I don't know, it's just, it doesn't make sense to me to jump on a video and where I'm telling people, look, you have to take responsibility. After a while, yes, you know that they're abusive and stuff like that, but why are you still obsessed with that person? And there's a difference between being obsessed and trying to learn. There's a big difference. If you're not interested in learning, you will get triggered. You will not listen to the whole message. And that's really not productive for you. But I know from my experience that there is no reasoning with narcissists, covert or whatever. There is no reasoning with narcissists. And if you are not a narcissist, if you have been a victim, there's no reason to defend yourself, because the only thing that I'm saying is we share all of us have the capacity to be, I don't know how to say it, I don't want to say evil, but all of us have a negative side, all of us have a shadow side, and if you're denying that, somebody commented, I'm a red flag for saying these things. But what does it make of you if you cannot admit that you're not perfect? That's exactly what I said. I said you're not perfect. And I said it after explaining it was a 13-second video, okay, as well. So anyhow, I said victims are in a state of black and white thinking. The main problem with victims of narcissistic abuse is that we hold on to the beginning stage where we have been love bombed, where we have been promised things. That person built a future, a fantasy with us, and we bought into that. And there are reasons for that, and there are reasons why, for us, the way they express themselves shamelessly and the way they're just not afraid to say what they think, even if it's not socially acceptable. And yeah, they only do that with us, and so it feels intimate and all of these things. And I'm arguing that we as empaths and stuff like that, we have really been suppressing so much of our negative self. And I believe a lot of us were not allowed to express negative emotions when we were a child. So then we're looking for somebody who mirrors this. They mirror this parent who they are allowed to do all of these things. They are extreme, they're acting out, they are addicted to stuff, they're toxic. And we are not allowed to really go through these phases properly because we have never been safe enough to do that. And that's all I'm saying. I'm never shaming victims by criticizing, or I mean, it's not even criticism. It's mainly supposed to be a wake up for some of us who are just kind of stuck in this obsessiveness and trying to diagnose all of the toxic people in our lives. It doesn't matter. In my opinion, it doesn't matter what label they have. What matters is we have an intuition that told us from the very beginning that they are not for us, that something's off, something is wrong. And we didn't listen because society at large and other people also have told us this doesn't matter, this is nonsensical, this is illogical, all of these scientific type of people who are really the opposite of an empath. And I'm just saying that these people are not right. It's one perspective, but it's not a human perspective if you think about it. So that's my whole argument. That's all I want to say. If you want to add anything, please do. I'm passionate about this, okay? I'm passionate, and I just wanted to put this out there before it just, because I'm gonna make more videos like this. I'm gonna point out more hypocrisy with us because this makes us strong. This is what makes us strong. That we're able to admit that it was kind of our fault, that we let people trample over our boundaries, and we can't be a victim forever because it means that we are willingly powerless forever if we do that. Because if, just think about it, you're just there and somebody's overstepping your boundaries, right? And you do nothing about it. You do nothing about it except like crying about it later, so to speak, or just internally like being sad about it. And in the end, you're kind of, because we don't have power over other people. We might try to manipulate people to do what we want, but the fact is, we have power over ourselves. We don't have power over other people. Unless you want to be like the narcissist. So what we have to do is to stand up for ourselves, to have our own boundaries. And if we're not willing to do that, we can't just sit back and keep complaining. That's all I'm saying. And if people don't like that, they really need a wake-up call. And it's sad to me that some people project and, you know, as I said, I have been through narcissistic abuse. I know what it smells like. I know what it feels like. And I know how it is when somebody's projecting onto me. And I can tell that people didn't watch it when they comment these things. I'm more red than a flag. Like, first of all, don't talk about color in general because people take it the wrong way. I'm Native American partly, so it's a bit weird to say that in even maybe the person didn't mean it at all, because most people just judge me as black anyhow. But anyhow, it's weird, okay? But anyways, it's not funny and it's not a good comment because as I said, I was saying we have to take responsibility. And that's what we have in common with the narcissist. When we are in this victim state, we don't take responsibility for our own boundaries. I didn't say we're not taking responsibility for the abuse, but also in a lot of cases we don't, because we're not really honest with us and with other people about how bad it is. Or sometimes we complain about it with like really close friends, but then when we made up again with the narcissist, we just downplay it. We just live in this fantasy world, and that's just the honest truth. So if you don't like that, I would argue that you are a narcissist, to be honest with you. I'm really, really sorry about it. And this label I don't think it's an official personality disorder, like a mental illness. What I'm trying to say is everybody actually has narcissistic traits. There is a thing called productive narcissism, healthy narcissism. So a little bit is actually good for you. It's also what some people call ego. If you look up dark triad, they have traits of all of it. So like psychopathy, sociopathy, and bipolar. So if you look up these three, that's why it's so hard to categorize them, and that's why it doesn't matter, because they can switch between. A narcissist can be bipolar once and have like abandonment issues and guilt trip you, and they switch up, and then the next day they become psychopathic when you try to leave them. So, it doesn't really matter. I think when we obsess over the narcissist and how they are and why they became that way, what they're actually, da 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 da, when it's obsessive, meaning we're not doing it because we want to heal, but we want to just get more and more validation that we are such a good person and there's no fault in us and they are a demon and we're not, we're an angel. That's just very unhealthy, and that's what I want to really point out, because I think I could have healed much faster if I just realized, like, I think the problem was I couldn't realize these things without being black and white, without being like, oh, I'm a terrible person, like I'm horrible. And, that's why I was so resistant to just seeing the actual truth and seeing that I had weak boundaries, and that was one of my main issues. I want people to actually, and I was in denial, not just read the title and not just judge me in a very superficial way and behave like a narcissist and just, be involved, just throw something back at me instead of actually making an argument, But most people are Americans who comment, so, you know, free speech and whatever. So I'm not gonna delete or anything the comments, because to be honest, I want people to see that, and I'm gonna reply. But don't be scared, okay? No, you don't have to be intimidated by me like these people, because I don't think you're weak. I think they are weak, and yeah, it's weakness, you know. It's just sad to me that so many people are weak, and it seems to me like a choice after a while, because you will notice that your life is not really going the way you want. And by the age now that I am 30, believe it or not, by the age I am now, and yes, I'm confident, that doesn't make me a narcissist, by the way. I have just realized that things that don't work out for me, things that I keep doing and repeating, it's my responsibility. Nobody's gonna save me, and I'm not gonna wait for anybody to save me anymore, because that was my downfall. And that was a big illusion. I'm just looking at this weird fly that's sitting there the whole time. So yeah, anyhow, please comment something if you want to say anything. If you want to agree or disagree, I welcome everything. Anyhow, have a good evening or day, whatever, night. By the way, there are like solar flares at the moment, so if you feel a bit weird, or if you feel like people are a little bit weird, that's maybe why. You know, just make sure you rest, you drink your water, you have your fresh air, you have your little walks and whatever, or like go to the gym if that's your jam. I mean, I wish I could. I mean, I have to, I will, but I'm just rambling now. See you soon. Bye.